Good morning, top performers. And we're off to another just remarkable session. We have two more to go, and this session is going to really help you to become more grounded, more in control of your life than you've ever have had. You'll have more time. You'll be more focused on your high payoff activities. And then next week, we finish with your emotional intelligence. And this is the missing link that most of us have been wondering, why am I not getting what I'm asking for? And so next week will be an amazing time that'll put it all together and you'll really understand how life works. So I wanted to start out with that we've just had some amazing feedback of the progress that you guys have made and the success that you have created for yourself. And I'm so proud of you on all that you guys have become and everything that you are doing. This is very simple and very easy. You know, it's as easy as just doing your joy shop in the morning, feeling good. By feeling good, that raises your vibration. It's a shortcut to all of your desires. And that you'll find, and you're finding that, wow, just amazing things happen. So I got one note that that this is just great from one of you. It says, "Thank you for everything, and man, oh man, talk about results. I have referrals, leads, and contracts coming to me like manifestations of physical magic. It's a beautiful thing." And physical magic, exactly, that with your thoughts you create, and that you can create then aligned with your feelings, that then you can create manifestations that come in to your experience, that, as this was says, physical magic. And so that's how powerful you are. And today we're going to talk about prioritizing your life. And if you don't prioritize it, if you aren't deliberate with what you want, you'll be living someone else's life and the things that they want. And so for you to understand, and it doesn't, harm anybody by you being and being deliberate and saying what you want. In fact, as you thrive, everyone thrives. So this is good news for us all. Our agenda, I'm going to share with you the three principles of life that when you truly embrace these three principles, you'll be on top of the world. And so I'm going to share these three principles with you. And then as we go through that if you have any questions about it, just let me know. But it truly is, if you want like three magic bullets on, tell me about how life works. This is what we're going to talk about today in these three principles of life. We're then going to discuss prioritizing our lives, and this is monthly planning. That we're gonna just do July today, and so this is real live play, if you will, focus. And so hopefully you have the copies of the sheets that I gave you. And if not, then just write it down on a piece of paper. And then next month, when you plan your month, you can print those out. I actually have this in a whole time management system that's with my coaching program that I do that'll save you at least 3 weeks a year and help you become more and more focused on your high payoff activities. But what you have with this process is the forms that will help you every month in order to stay focused. So monthly planning is it's as simple as this. It's 2 hours typically it takes to invest in your next month. So if we look at July, let's look at July, even though we're a little bit into July right now, that we still have, like 3 valuable weeks that we can make the most of. And this is the way to make the most of every month. You're only going to get July 2014 one time. And I'm going to show you how to make it the best time for you. And then we're going to look, part of this monthly planning is looking at our mission and purpose. If you don't ask, remember it's ask and you shall receive. If you're not asking for what you want, it's impossible for the universe, for God, to give you what you want. And so this is, and I'm going to ask you now to start expanding your imagination. That as you expand your imagination of more of what you want and how it's going to be easy and how it's going to be abundant and full and you're going to have more money and more happiness and better health. And as you think about that, you're going to start, that's your asking, your thinking, and that's going to create that. And so I'm going to help you today to develop your own mission and purpose on what you want to be, do, and have. We're going to then look at how to be very deliberate in the different areas, the 6 different areas of our life. And it's back to, again, we're kind of getting this, it's like a funnel, if you will. We start at the top of the funnel with our mission and purpose, and then we start going down that funnel and really getting specific about what do I want in the month of July in the different areas of my life. And then finally, we'll go to how to prioritize our lives. And so this is taking all of that information and then saying, hey, what's most important to me that I want to be, do, and have? And you'll see that you're going to start creating just amazing, amazing things. I don't know if you guys read my last encouragement, but it's Dr. Hanks Goes to Washington. And there was an old movie that, somebody goes to Washington. And so that's where that came from. But, I had asked for, so I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm leaving that day. It was last week ago, Monday. And I'm leaving Washington, D.C. I'm sitting in the hotel lobby in the morning having breakfast, needing to go up and get my wife, Sharon, who, by the way, is never on time. And so I asked the universe while I was having breakfast, I said, I want something really exciting to happen to me, for me, with me today. And then I said the most outrageous thing. If you would know my wife and how late she is with everything, then you would know that this request would be outrageous. But I said, I want everything to be early. And so I want to, leave the hotel early. I want to get to the airport early. I want to leave early. I want to get back to Dallas early. All of these things that I wanted the whole day to be not just on time. And I originally, when I was writing this down at breakfast, that I originally said, well, I'd like to have everything on time. And then I said, no, what do I really want? Not what do I think I'll probably maybe get. It's that what do I really want? And this is a point that I want you to think about is, what are the things that you really want? Not what you think you can maybe get, but what do you really want? And when you can really want something and powerfully desire it and then allow it into your experience, you'll have it. And so I said, I don't want to just be on time. What I really want today is I want to be early. So I get up from breakfast and I walk into the lobby and I stop because a bunch of sirens are going off, and all of a sudden all the Secret Service comes rushing into the hotel and they're all around. And I had heard that the president of Chile was going to probably be staying at this very prestigious hotel I was staying at, the St. Regis. It's about 2 blocks from the White House. And so I just stopped in the lobby and to observe all this. And sure enough, all these limos come up and all these police cars and all these security people. And out walks the president of Chile, which is her, a she. And she walks into the lobby and they direct her to her right, which means she walks right by me. And I say, oh, good morning. And she says, good morning, shakes my hand, and I meet the president of Chile. Like, what fun is that? I asked her something exciting, and I got it. And it's just like, wow, this is just amazing. Well, now I go up to the hotel room, and Sharon says, I've decided that let's not eat at the hotel. Instead, let's leave early. And so we leave early the hotel. We get to the airport early, and then we get upgraded to first class, another amazing, surprising thing that the universe can deliver to you as it delivered to me. And then we were early to Dallas and early back to our condo. And so everything was early, just like I asked for it. This is how you can have it. That you want listings right now, you just ask for listings. You want more business, you want more money, ask for it and just know. And when you have the belief that, do you think the universe can give you some more listings? Do you think God has the capability of giving you some more listings, some more money? Of course God does. When you ask that God makes more of it, doesn't take away from anybody, just makes more of it. There's plenty of listings out there. I was working with my coaching. I was playing, if you will, with one of my mentees, and she was at about $850,000 of business currently, and I make all the people that I coach with, I make them $1 million agents. And so I said, you're going to need to have at least one or two more deals here, and we only have a few days left. And so why don't you ask for a couple listings out of the blue? And why don't you ask for it today? And she said, you know what? I really like that. And guess what? That day, she got 2 listings out of the blue. And so you can do it. And as we had heard before, this physical magic, you can create physical magic, and you have the power, and I'm sharing with you on how that works. And we're now going to go into the 3 principles that when you understand this and embrace this, and what I ask you to do, the most effective way to take this teaching and to make it manifest amazing, magical things for you is for you to just have blind faith and say, you know what? That I tried kind of everything else, or I tried a lot of things, and what I'm going to do is just kind of give up all this belief systems that I have and everything, and I'm just going to relax, and I'm going to believe these 3 things. So these are the 3 principles of life. So if you look at your screen, the 3 principles of life. The first one, and the most important for you to understand, is that you are a leading edge creator. You're it. There isn't something, somebody, whatever, that number one is against you. There's no one against you, okay? Everything is for you, and that you have this magnificent ability to be able to use your thought to create whatever you want, whatever you can allow into your life. So understand that you're a leading edge creator, and this whole process has been to help you understand that. And so, as a little review, we talked about in success in the first session about the different areas that we think in. And when you think in the green zone, and when you're being deliberate, thinking about what you want, so often we think about the troubling things that have happened to us during the day, and all that does is create more trouble for you. If you just disregard, so take blind faith and just know this is true. If you got into an argument with your spouse today, stop thinking about it. If a deal went south on you, stop thinking about it. Think about the wonderful relationship and discussion you did have with your spouse whenever, or that you plan on having. And think about on how the bad deal, think about the good deals that you've had. If you just think the only reason why there's contrast in this world of the things you don't want is for you to identify which stuff you don't want. So when you come across an argument with your spouse, you immediately say, that's what I don't want. And then you say, what do I want? And you say, I want a deep and meaningful and loving relationship with my spouse, and that you will start creating that. But if you think about the trouble you have in the relationship or the trouble you have in your business, that you're only going to create that. You're the creator, and what I'm helping you to do is become a deliberate creator of what you want. When you get clarity of what you want, that you will then attract all the things that you want to be, do, and have, because you have all that is backing you. God, if you will, the universe is backing you on whatever you're thinking. But God, the universe, is happiest when you're thinking as God is thinking about any subject. And so when it's thinking about your relationship, that God's thinking about the good, loving, deep, meaningful relationship that you have or that you desire, or the thriving business and all the prosperity and abundance, because there's only good. So I want you to just pause for a moment and just think, take a deep breath in. It's the fastest way for you to connect with your source. And just take that deep breath in and then think about, I'm going to start thinking about what I want because I am a leading edge creator. I am a deliberate creator. Before you were in this webinar, you were to some degree a by default creator. Life kind of happened to you and you allowed it. But you know differently now. You know that, wow, I can think it. And the more that I think about it, that everything, literally everything, comes from your thoughts, that goes into the inner world, if you will, the non-physical world, the energy world, that then creates it and manifests it into material or your experience and into the things that you want to be, do, and have. And so that's how powerful that you are. And so by you recognizing, wow, that's the path to what I want. And recall that we talked about the 5 steps to get to what you want. And only 2 of the steps you have to do. And that is to think about what you want. Okay. And contrast in this world shows you what you like, what you don't. It sifts through life. You've been sifting through life. You've been identifying, here's what I don't like, here's what I do like. Well, on what you do like, God wants to give that to you. But the other step that you want to do is you want to make sure that you allow it. And so just expect you're good. From now on, if you just give up everything, we're talking about what's going on right now, what is, how the relationship is, how the business is, whatever, just give up all that and just start thinking and start dreaming about how you want it to be. How do I want it to be? And because of this, one of the 3 principles of life, that you are a leading edge creator, you in fact will create whatever you're thinking about. And I know that you've been trained to think about what's not working. You've been trained to fix problems. You've been trained to, get over it, not face it. Don't worry about your feelings. I want you to think about your feelings as the most important thing, that you want to make sure that your feelings, based on your thoughts, create your feelings, that you're feeling good. And when you are, you're lined up with Source and you'll start getting everything that you want. It was Sunday morning, just this Sunday morning. And I said to myself, you know what? I think I want to make some money. I love creating money, and I want to do it on a Sunday. Well, on Sunday, I have no meetings, I have no appointments, no nothing, okay? And there's no reason why, if I would just look at what is, why I would want to make money. And so my assessments that I have, that I have people around the United States using these assessments, and they work with me, if you will, on this, and so I provide these assessments. And so I go up to the assessment, and I go up to where all my assessments are, and there's 11 assessments there. And so I made, like $1,000, something like that, and I invoiced the guy. And then later on that day, so this is all on Sunday when I say I want to make money. And then the guy comes back to me, and one of my coaches comes back to me and says, I actually don't want 11. I'll need 16. And so then he said, could you invoice me for all 16? And then he said, oh, and by the way, I have 70 more that's going to be coming to you this week. So I just made thousands of dollars, and it's all because I asked for it. So get out of what is, get out of what your reality is, and think about, because you have the power in order to think about what you do want, and you'll become it. So that's principle number 1. Principle number 2, and I would write these down, and I would just really like the first one, I would write down I am, remember, I am are the two most powerful words you can use. And then whatever that next word is, you will become. As long as you're thinking of it and don't have any contradictory thoughts towards whatever you want or whatever you want to become, that you'll become it. Okay. There was a person, I think it was a Napoleon Hill book where a guy just continued to say every day he was a real dumb guy and everybody called him an idiot and slow and everything. And every day he said he was a genius. He was a genius. And after about 12 years, he became a genius. And people say, oh my God, I don't want to wait 12 years. Well, listen, if you don't start saying it right now, what you want to become, you're never going to become it. And if you say it, you can instantly manifest. If you say it and then expect it to come. If you you want to talk about belief in God, you believe in God, that God will deliver you all of your desires. Think about your children. You want to give your children everything. Well, your Father wants to give you everything, but you can't have these contradictory thoughts. So number one, I am a deliberate creator. And so write that down and just embrace that. Breathe that in. Breath is the easiest way to connect with your source. Deep breathing, about 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. And I get into meditations, and I can show you the path to the inner world, like the fast path to the inner world. I can show that to you. And again, that's through my coaching. But number two is only well-being flows. There's nothing that is working against you other than your own thoughts that could be working against you and the things that you don't want. That well-being only flows. Let me give you just some realistic examples. The stock market. Do you know in the last 80 years that the stock market has continued to grow? If you would have had 80 years ago $10,000 in the stock market, it would be worth like $83 million just on $10,000. Right now, the stock market is at a record that I can guarantee you the stock market's going to go down, up and down, fluctuations, whatever. But long term, it will continue to grow. The mantra for God is growth. Okay? It's more. And so it is more. Everything is getting better. Look at how people lived just 200 years ago versus how we live now with toilets, with electric, with cars, with planes. I mean, it's just amazing. You look around on everything that there is and see all the good that has been created, you're going to start seeing that is correct. Only well-being flows. So imagine that there's this power, and there is this power, this energy that creates world, God, the universe, that is flowing into you all the time. However, also imagine, and maybe even put your hands above your head and start putting have your hands spread out and then start closing up your hands. And that's what we do with our thoughts, is we start closing up the well-being to us because we start focusing on our attention on the things we don't want. Stop watching TV and the news. You are not a deliberate creator when they're just throwing stuff at you and you're listening to it. Give up those supposed friends of yours that keep on complaining and telling you how bad it is and their sickness and their illness and the bad. I had someone last week tell me that the economy is bad. Are you out of your mind? It's the best economy there's ever been in the history of the world. That there's more jobs, there's more opportunities, and for all of us, and especially on July 4th week, for us to really appreciate the freedom that we have. One of the reasons why we're here is freedom, and we landed ourselves in the United States of America that has the most freedom. You could be, do, and have more than any other opportunity anywhere in the whole wide world, and so let's take advantage of it. Let's live the American dream, and the only way to live the American dream is to have the dream, and for you to start dreaming and expanding your imagination and start thinking about how it's going to be. So principle number 2, Well-being only flows. Only good flows to you. And you either can resist your good with your resistant thoughts, or you can allow your good with your allowing thoughts. Allowing thoughts are thinking about what you like, about what you desire, about what pleases you, about what's working. And so if you just think about the things that are working, and so it doesn't matter what subject. So let's say that let's use business. Let's say your business isn't as good as you want, but what is really working well is your health. Now, probably you haven't even been thinking about that because you just assume, well, it's good, and so you don't think about it, okay? But think about your health. And for all of you, you all have more good health than you have bad health, no matter what's going on. And also know this, that you have the power because of principle number one, leading edge creator. You have literally the power to overcome any circumstance, any condition that you have, whether it be out in your life or whether it be in your body. I have healed people that have had cancer, okay, that have had terminal cancer, supposed to be dead, and they're alive and well and having great, because they were able to control that all cancer is, any of that is dis-ease. And dis-ease are these resistant thoughts resisting the well-being. So start back to our example, start looking and think about you physically. Think how many things are working in your body. It's just amazing. Your circulation, your heart beating, your digestive system, your eyes, you're smelling, your nose, your mouth, your tasting, your ears, your touching. I mean, it's just incredible. And that I always give the counsel that, if your left elbow is bothering you, think about your right elbow. What's working? Okay? So back to, we're going to assume that your physical self is working well. So I want you to think about the well-being that is flowing and about, yes, on how so much you enjoy your good health. And again, you can't be looking at the one or two little things that aren't working right in your health. You look at what you want to be. Like if you think you're a little overweight, just give that up, okay? Start thinking about, I'm thin, I'm trim, I'm fit. I'm looking good. I'm looking sexy. You start talking, I'm looking younger. I love that one. Every morning I kind of smile a little. I'm looking younger. I saw a lady, and the reason why I use personal examples is for you to understand this isn't just me making up something. This works. This has worked for thousands of people, and it works every day for my different mentees that I have, for the people that I coach, for the people that are in my classes and that are being exposed to my teaching. It works, and it works for me. And so yesterday I met Dusty, who's one of our preferred vendors, and she hadn't seen me for probably 4 months, and she goes, "Oh my God, you look so great, and you even look younger." And I'm like, well, of course, this is how it is. You call it the way it is. And then, but people say, "Hey, I'm getting older," and if you say you're getting older, you are getting older. So back to my example about you have good health but not very good business. Just think about your good health, and that you are going to start having your better business, as long as you don't think about the troubling business and just think about what's working in your life, that it's going to bleed into the other areas of your life. And it can happen quickly. But you really have to get off whatever's bothering you and instead thinking about what's working that pleases you the way that you want it to be. You're a leading edge creator, and you have well-being that flows to you all the time. And so allow that well-being to come in, and magical things are going to happen to you. The third principle is cooperative components rendezvous with your thoughts. So whatever you're thinking about, if you're thinking about your bad health in some area, so let's go back to the left elbow is bothering you, cooperative components are going to come. God's going to come running, okay, and bring you cooperative components, and pretty soon you're going to notice that pain is running up your arm, that pain, now you got pain in, your right elbow. that literally cooperative components go to wherever your thoughts are. So the example that I just gave are thoughts about what you don't want. I don't want pain. I want good health. So if you think about your right elbow and that, and your good health of your right elbow, then what will happen is that cooperative components will rendezvous to that good feeling, and it will start running in to your left elbow, and you'll start getting better. You know, when you cut your finger, who does the healing? You know, is it a doctor? No. Who does the healing is that well-being. There is only well-being that flows. And so allow it to flow, and then allow the cooperative components on what kind of cooperative components do you want? On things you don't want or things you do want? Well, you want cooperative components, that you want those cooperative components on the things that you do want. So that's why you start thinking about what will be. And when you do, so imagine that, like if you're looking at a wall, imagine that whole wall is the universe, okay? And it's really infinite, but we're just going to use the whole wall. And it's all the different areas of thought. And imagine a line that's drawn halfway across that wall. The lower half of that wall are all the things that you don't want, and the upper half of that wall are all the things that you do want. Now, imagine that on that wall are little tiny light bulbs. None of them are lit, okay? And they're all little tiny, think of the little Christmas light bulbs, for example. And so there are literally thousands of little light bulbs on this wall that aren't lit up. Now, when you go, and so let's go to above the line and say, I just love my thriving business, whether or not you have a thriving business or not. The universe doesn't know if you're thinking about what happened in the past, if you're thinking about what happened now, or if you're thinking about what happened in the future. So what I'd like you to do is primarily all the time thinking about what is in the future that you want. So let's talk about, you think about a thriving business. That's above the line, and that's way above the line. And now just imagine that you put your thought way up on top of the wall on this good, and you hit the little light that is the light of thriving business. And what will happen is all the lights that are around it, hundreds of lights, infinite actually number of lights, but hundreds of lights around it start lighting up. And what are those lights in our real world? How is this? That when you touch the high-flying lights, the lights that are above the 50% mark, and the things that you want, and the allowing thoughts of what you want, what pleases you, what you like, when you hit that you hit that, and cooperative components such as thoughts come to you. Okay, like me on Sunday morning saying, hey, money is fun and exciting, and I love to create money, so I'm going to create money on a Sunday, even though, you know, the world tells me on Sunday everything's closed down and I can't. I decide that's what I want, and cooperative components come to me and say, oh, why don't you check your profiles and see if anybody did profiles? And then I check the profile. And then it says, then I'll bring you this coach mentee that's under you, and I'll bring them to give you even more, not just 11, but 16, and then I'll give you even more, 70. I mean, this number 70 of profiles that this one mentee coach of mine had is the most by far that he's ever ordered. Okay, that's what happens. The universe just gives me more and more and more about whatever I'm thinking about. So that's why this is such an easy life, that all I need to do is sit around and think. And some people say to me, well, you can't just sit around and think. Oh yeah, because when you sit around and think about what you want, you'll be inspired to do certain actions, okay? Like I'm inspired. Normally, I don't check that for my profiles, but once a month, at the end of the month. But the universe told me, hey, go ahead and check it now. And so that's how beautiful this universe is. We'll give you all these cooperative components rendezvous with your thoughts. So now, doesn't it just make sense that you want to start selecting thoughts about things that you want? Because God, all there is, the whole universe, is rooting for you, has your back, that you call it. And so instead of calling what you don't want and talking about the things that trouble you and talking to other people that trouble you, I had a situation the other day where some expenses that were supposed to be paid on a credit card by another person, that credit card was no good. And I could have panicked. I could have thought about it, thought, geez, I don't like that, et cetera. And I said, hey, I want the universe. I'm a solution person. I'm not about problems, okay? I just look for the solutions. So I just asked the universe. I said, hey, could you please handle this for me? Then I know you're going to handle this to where everything's going to be great, even better. So the next day I go to that person and they go, oh, yeah, our credit card we had to change. And, hey, we're going to, do a brand new updated credit card and we get it all. And so everything happened just miraculously, automatically, easily. But normally it wouldn't be that way, but that's the way that I asked for it. So let's all of us just pause for a moment and think about, what have you been thinking about in the last 24 hours? Have you been thinking about the things that you enjoy, that you like? Have you been calling God to help you to do all the things that you want? Ask and you shall receive. But for most of us, we haven't received near what we've asked for. And why is that? It's as easy as we were below that 50% line and we were lighting up lights that we don't want. And so there is no judgment. So you get to choose. That's why, number one, you're the leading edge creator. And there's only good that flows. But if you choose, as a leading edge creator, below the 50% line, you're going to light that one light, and then all these other lights around it are going to light up. That's why, have you ever said to yourself, I can't get any worse than this? And then it gets worse? That's why. So now you say, it's going to get better than this. In fact, things are going to be better and better. In fact, I'd like you to write down right now, just saying that is, I just love this, that my life is getting better and better. If you just write that down, and if you just continue to say that to yourself today and tomorrow, that, before you go to sleep, gee, I just love that my life's getting better and better. I just love that when I wake up tomorrow morning, my life is better and better. Better things are coming to me. I believe in God. I believe that my good is coming to me now, that I'm on the right side of the wall. I'm on the high-flying side. I'm on that high-flying saucer, willing to allow all my goodness in. So 3 principles of life. You're a leading edge creator. Know it. Well-being only flows. The only thing that's against you is your own thoughts. And you can stop that. Let go of those old beliefs and start looking at what's working, what pleases you, what you like, and know that cooperative components are always 24/7. Never a fail that cooperative components will be there to support you, to give you the ideas, to give you the out-of-the-blue experiences and people and situations on everything that you have asked for. So what good news, huh? Just what awesome news. You just know that those are those 3 principles of life and that you believe in them, and you're on your way, my friend. So let's talk about prioritizing our life. Each month, I'd like you to do monthly planning. And one of the things I do with my coaching is we have a inner circle where we all meet then and virtually and then we discuss monthly planning and we look at, hey, what do we want to do? And everybody develops their own plan for monthly planning. That it's the most productive time in your month. That this usually the investment is 2 hours and it will save you hours and hours of time, of energy, and you'll be more focused on what you do want, on that high-flying saucer, on the things that you want, above that 50% line, lighting up all those lights that the universe wants to give you. It's 2 hours to make your month the way you want it. You are now pre-paving your day in the Joy Shop. And remember that Joy Shop, what you do is you read that Joy Shop and it raises your vibration. It's a shortcut to all you want. An easy way to look at that is on the wall again with the lights, that by reading the Joy Shop, it puts you above that 50% mark. By the way, where are most people? Most people, the average of mankind is at about 40%. In other words, most people are below the line. And that's why TV is about the bad stuff, the news and everything, about the bad stuff. That's why people are complaining and blaming and, doing all that committee stuff, is because most people are at 40%. You're learning on how to jump up, and you have the power to do that. You have the power to feel good right now and to start thinking about the thoughts that you want. And so in the Joy Shop, by reading the Joy Shop, the initial Joy Shop makes you feel good. It pops you above that 50% line. Then you can start attracting more cooperative components of your well-being on the things that you do want. Now, by planning your month, that you're going to be pre-paving your month and getting your month the way you want it. Because July 2014, you know how many times you're going to get that in your lifetime? Once. And so now you're going to make the most of it, and I'm going to show you how. The first thing is mission and purpose. So the papers that I asked you to print, and if you don't have them, you can just write it on a piece of paper. But I'd like you to think about your mission and your purpose. So what this is it's kind of like you're at A, you're going to B, and what is B? What is that? What do you want to be, do, and have? And so I have filled in here one thing, and again, in my time management system that is included with my coaching, that this whole format is right in it, and so everything is right there. In fact, all the tools that you've learned here is in this time management system. But I'm looking at my July mission and purpose right now, and my number one thing is to feel good. Why? Because that puts me above that 50% line, and that puts me into the things that I want, and then I know God is going to bring cooperative components and things just out of the blue. I could have never, ever planned, just the experiences I shared with you on how to make money on Sunday, on how to get first class, on how to meet the president of Chile, on how to be early with everything, where my dear wife Sharon, she gives me great material, but my dear wife Sharon is never early on anything. and so how does all that happen? It happens as easy as this, and you have the power to do this. Each and every one of you have the power in order to feel good right now in this present moment. Within minutes, you can change your life. That's how powerful this is, because your only power is in your present moment and wherever you are now. And the more that you continue to discipline yourself and train yourself to think about what you want and to care most about how you feel, and maybe write that down. I want to care most about how I feel. You want to feel good, because that's God's signal to you. That's the communication system that you have with your source in order to tell you whether or not you are thinking and feeling like source is about whatever subject you're talking about. So your mission and purpose, mine is to feel good. But I'm going to give you some examples. Probably 20 years ago, my mission and purpose is I wanted to be, maybe 30 years ago, I wanted to have $1 million business. I wanted to have a successful career with Procter & Gamble. I wanted to be the best dad. I wanted to be the best husband. And all those things came true. Okay, everything, because I asked for it, because I had what I wanted. What I wanted, I had written down. And by writing it down, there's power in that. And so under mission and purpose, I want you to write down what your mission and purpose is. It might be I want to be one of the top real estate agents. It might be that I want to be independently wealthy. It might be that I want to be healthy. Again, my thing, if you just write in to feel good and focus on that, that's great. But if you have more specific things that I'd like you right now to write down, what is your mission and purpose in your life? So I'll give you a minute to do that. Okay, some other things on mission and purpose. Let's see. I am unconditional love. Like that's another thing I have, that I'm unconditional love. Like I taught my children two things, that they can be, do, and have anything they want. And number two is I showed them through my behavior unconditional love. And they now, all three of them have just amazingly successful and happy lives. And it's because they realize that they are this deliberate creator and that they have unconditional love. There are no conditions for their love to themselves or to other people. And I want you to think about, what kind of conditions do you have to love yourself? You have to be a certain way, do something, have something in order to love yourself. Just give all that up. No conditions. Unconditional love. So that's mission and purpose. And see, already you're starting to get a feel, and I can feel that vibration, that you're really starting to get a feel for, wow, I just love this. I'm starting to take control. I'm starting to take control of my life. I'm more grounded now. Then personal goals to focus on this month. And so the first one is family and home. So in July, so for the rest of July, what are you going to be intentional and deliberate about? You're a deliberate creator now. I'm teaching you how to be a deliberate creator, and you're going to love it. You're going to love having more and more things of the things that you desire. And so under family and home, like for mine, celebrate my birthday and celebrate my second son's birthday, which was yesterday, and then celebrate my oldest son's birthday. So I have two boys that have birthdays in July along with me. And so because I was intentional with that, like yesterday, I just had an amazing time with my son, with my middle son, and just some amazing communication. But it's because of my intent of I wanted to just have a glorious birthday with me and then with my two sons. So write down something on what are you going to be intentional with your family and home. Maybe it's, it's not so much how much time, it's about the quality of time. I know a lot of parents that are home with their kids and don't pay them any attention. In fact, we ran a report and monitored that, and the average attention, one-on-one, truly communication between a parent and their child is about 45 seconds a day. 45 seconds a day. And so when you think about it, yeah, you're really not there. You're doing other stuff, whatever. And so just to be intentional for 10 minutes with your children every day, to just one-on-one with them, listen to them. What do they have to say? We can learn a lot from our children because they don't have these old rugged beliefs and these experiences that we've actually created, but we think, oh, life is tough and rough and, whatever. And I'm going to show you how it is. Just give up all that stuff. That they're leading edge creators. Just let them know that they're leading edge creators and they'll create the life of their dreams. Okay? Financial and career. What's one of the main things that you want? We're going to look more into this and look at our business objectives. But what do you want to do? Like financial and career, maybe one of the things you want to write down is, I want to attract. Remember, you're an attractor. You attract what you want through your thoughts and then feelings, and the feelings will get you next week. But what do I want, in my career? Wow, I want to attract at least one ideal referral partner this month. Or I want to attract a listing out of the blue. Yesterday, I was with one of my mentees, and she was complaining to me about, oh, I don't have enough listings. And I said, listen, why don't you do this? Why don't you just expect to have a listing out of the blue in the next 24 hours? Guess what I received this morning? An email from her stating that she, out of the blue, got got a listing. That's how it works. I mean, this is how easy it works. Don't buy into, oh, there's so many listings and everything. There's anything you want. When you ask for it, Source makes more of it for you. Then mental and educational. And so my counsel to you on this one, for every one of you, is that I want you on our success assignments. I'd like you to listen to Success Unit 4, which I'll be sending you. That I want you to listen to it at least 6 times, and probably listen to this at least 6 times. I'm sharing with you that there are thoughts and ideas that are new to you, that this is a new way of thinking for you. And most of us don't accept new thoughts and ideas until at least the 6th time. And so for you to just say, yeah, I'm going to really mental and educational, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start thinking. Here's a great one. I'm going to start thinking only about what I want. Not what is, what's going on, what's troubling me. Not what happened in the past, my poor, upbringing and, this bad thing. Just forget all that stuff, okay? Your power's right now. And for you in your power right now to thinking about what will be. Then physical and health. And I just was, I have someone that I'm working with, that playing with, if you will, that they've had severe back problems, and so when they first started coaching with me about 2 months ago, they had severe back problems, and they came in yesterday and said, "Wow, I am feeling good, and I see myself feeling just great." And that's all she needs. You don't need to go to any doctor, anything. You have the power to overcome any condition. But let me share with you the 3 secrets to health. There's just 3 things. If you just do these 3 things, you'll have great health. Number 1, good feeling thoughts. So that includes, you can't be looking in the mirror and saying, oh, I'm overweight, or looking at the scale, and just stop weighing yourself, okay? And when you see, if you look at yourself in the mirror, look at what you like. Maybe you got a nice nose. Just look at your nose then, okay? And that the rest of your body will start getting better. So good feeling thoughts, not only about physical appearance and how you feel, but also on everything else, on good feeling thoughts about everything. Because since there's only well-being that flows, ask to see through Source's eyes, and you'll start seeing all the good in this world, all the good in you. You were born worthy. And so for you to just embrace that and love that and say, yeah, I was born worthy, and I love that. So number 1, good feeling thoughts for good health. Number 2, drink lots of water. And number 3, breathe deeply. That's it. You do those 3 things, and all the other diets and everything you can just forget about. That you're going to start having better and better health. Again, I've helped people overcome cancer and all kinds of conditions that car accidents with necks, and I've done it myself. I broke my neck and never had an operation, and healed myself. And so know that you can do that too. So write down something on what are you going to do physically, health-wise. Then social and cultural. And again, now I'm discussing the 6 main areas in your life. You have chosen on some things what's important and what isn't. And so some of these might not be as big of a priority. And as long as you don't have resistant negative thoughts to those subjects, then great. You can leave them alone or whatever, and just, they'll continue to have well-being, because there's only well-being that flows. Social and cultural is, each one of you have been blessed with your health, with your family, with your business. I mean, you're entrepreneurs. You have the whole world. You're on top of the world, or if you think so, you will be on top of the world. And on all this freedom you have, you don't have a job just over broke. Okay, I mean, this is just amazing. You have this amazing opportunity, and you have so many good things. And so, what are you giving back to the world? Now, this could be, maybe you're involved in your church, or you're going to start being intentionally a good neighbor. And don't buy into that person is no good or that person isn't friendly. Stop thinking that, because if you think that, they'll just become more unfriendly. You think about how you want to see them. I have a guy in yoga class, never says hi to anybody. He kind of grunts like meanly when people say hi to him. And I just keep on saying to myself, I love this guy, that he is a leading edge creator too. I see the good in him. I see that he's a good man, that whatever his social skills, I don't care about, that I see the goodness in him. And 2 weeks ago, I said hi, and he kind of grumbled at me, and then he kind of went, "Oh," and I went, "Oh, what's wrong?" And he goes, "Oh, I got some bad," and he starts talking to me, and he's the nicest man, and we're best. His name's Hayden, and we're the best of friends now. He's not friends with anybody at yoga or in my health center. He's not friends with anybody, but I'm friends with him. Why? Because that's how I wanted to see him. The best thing, and so maybe you want to take a note of this. The best thing you can do for anything is to send them your good thoughts. So if someone says, "Oh, I'm sick," you send them. You don't go and pity, "Oh, I'm sorry that you're feeling bad. I hope you don't feel worse." Just stop all that. Instead, say, "You know what? I send you good health. I send you well-being." That there's nothing more powerful than you can do for any person, for any disease, for any cause, than for you to put goodwill on it, for you to think good thoughts on it. That's how powerful you are. You want peace in the world? Give peace to the world. Cast what you want. Every morning, I cast love out onto the world, out onto myself, and out onto the world. What are you casting? Are you casting, "Oh, I'm going to fight against cancer, or I'm going to fight against poverty," or whatever? Stop fighting against anything. You're just going to make it bigger, okay? Instead, what are you going to cast onto the world? So think about that. Yeah, I'm going to cast love. I'm going to cast prosperity. I'm going to cast on that prospect that is troubling, that isn't motivated. I'm going to see them as motivated. I'm going to see them making decisions. I can't tell you how many prospects and clients I have helped other people turn around just by, in their minds, they turned them around, or in their thoughts about how they wanted them to be. You have that power too. Cast love on the world. Cast peace on the world. Cast what you want on the world. Abundance, whatever that may be. And then finally, spiritual and ethical. And so there's as far as a relationship, there's no more important relationship than you and your inner being, your source. So you care most about how you feel, and the relationship you care most about is with God, with your source. And so how can you care? Is by feeling good. If you truly care about God, your relationship with God, you feel good, and then you guys are communicating just grandly together because you're feeling good and you're at one. You're rendezvousing with all that is. And that's up above that 50% line on where all those lights are ready to be lit up for you. Isn't this just amazing? Isn't it beautiful? I mean, you just have it. You're on top of the world now. You are confident. You are sure. You are happy. You know that you can manage anything, any person, any circumstance. You can build anything, your life, your health, your business. And this is you by being you intentional. So now you look at what business goals to focus on this month. And so I have written down a couple of thoughts for you to think about. But if you don't call forth what you want, it's impossible to get it. Okay? So call forth on what you want. And so what do you want? Wow, I want to attract an ideal referral partnerships. Okay, that these referral partnerships. So I'm going to give you an example of I have someone that I'm working with that, again, a mentee and someone I coach, and their business was just miserable when they came to me. And in fact, they were in tears and, nothing happened. And I said, well, we can change all this. First of all, start thinking about what's working. And so they started thinking about what's working. And then I said, and one real good technique is this referral partnerships. Do you have any referrals? No, I don't have any referrals. Well, she ends up going to, she's been asking, I want ideal referral partnerships. I want ideal referral partnerships. Where can I get ideal referral partnerships? And so out of the blue is this, at her church, that they have this bulletin where you can advertise in. And she literally didn't have any money to advertise. And so I paid for it because she had told me that another agent had used it and they got several leads and everything. And so this has just exploded her business. Like everybody just loves her, and she's giving a portion of her commissions now to the church building fund because they want to, move and go to another church. So it's like, more evidence about there's only well-being, and that when you thrive, the world thrives. She's now thriving, and the ideal referral partner is church. Okay, everything is right under your nose. I'm sharing with you that there are people, there's family members, there's people you write a check to, there's, someone that your best friend, one of your friends, that there are people, your previous clients, your current clients. There are so many opportunities that are there, and so it doesn't matter. I moved. Again, a great example with me. I moved from Tampa, and I had a successful business, retired down there, came to Dallas to help a friend. I was writing a book and help a friend. And then I decided, I just love, writing books and everything is nice, but I just love to be able to share my teaching. And so I want to get into that. Now, I know nobody other than this sick friend of mine in Dallas, and now I know thousands of people in Dallas, okay? And so all you do is ask, and anything that you want is here for you. So think about, what business goals do you want to do? Do you want to attract an ideal referral partner? If you start saying to yourself, oh, I don't know anybody, guess what? That's what you're going to get. What you have to do is say, God knows of someone, okay? And God's going to deliver it to me. Think of those lights again on the wall, that I'm thinking about what I want. I ask for ideal referral partnerships. Maybe another thing you want to do is attract out of the blue clients or listings. I gave you examples on how, within 24 hours, hey, that just attract a listing. Right now, I'd like each of you just to say to yourself and to write down that I want to attract a listing within the next 24 hours. If you are feeling good, now as you're writing that down, so again, I'd encourage you to write that down, that I want to attract a listing or a client, but for most of you are real estate agents, that a listing is downstream. It's easy. And, that's the other thing, is to understand that, okay, so God knows where you are, and God knows what you want, and then God knows the path of least resistance there. So stop resistant thoughts and just allowing, and you'll be guided to the path of least resistance. So listings is an easy path, okay, that people come to you, they sell right away, that just don't buy into, oh, there aren't many listings, or they buy into, there's listings, and there's listings for me. There's listings every day that happen, and they can happen to you. Okay, so it's a matter of this mindset. I'm getting into, I'm going to change my mindset, and I'm going to stop believing and honoring the God of other people's opinion. That, other people, what they're saying about how the market is or whatever, I don't care. What I care about is my experience. What do I want to experience, okay? In the recession that all the people that I was coaching had, all kinds of business. Their business was better than ever, better than ever. But everybody else was, sharing, and all the papers were saying about all the recession and real estate is tough and everything else, that it's never, ever tough unless you buy in to it's tough. It's an easy path. It's a path of least resistance. It's the path that God, your lighted path, that you can call forth simply by asking for what you want. Now let's look at income. I've shared with you to expand your imagination. And so, how much money are you willing to allow yourself per month? Is it $5,000, $10,000, $20,000? God can do anything that he wants. I made in the last week, I don't know, like $10,000. So that's what, $40,000 a month, and then times 12, and so I don't know, it's $500,000 a year or whatever. That's just great. There's plenty of money, okay? And there's way, way more money than that. That's just, on the average. That, hey, there's opportunities out of the blue that I expect that are going to happen to me. That I for sure am going to win the lottery. And I'm going to for sure win millions of dollars in the lottery. And by knowing that's what's going to happen to me. And I just love that. And it's all coming. All I have to do is allow it. But most of you have this, the odds of winning the lottery or whatever. But there's all kinds of opportunities. But with my mind, I can't do that. I don't know what those are. But there are cooperative components of God that knows exactly what those are on whatever amount I put down here. So what amount are you going to put? I'm going to allow, over $20,000 a month or whatever. But you have to feel good. So if you write down, I allow $100,000 a month, and you're saying, hell, there's no way that's going to happen. Guess what? There's no way that's going to happen. And so you have to write down a number that you're comfortable with, and just know that everything is coming your way. One step at a time, getting better and better and better. If you look at your life is better than where it has been. In fact, if you look at your life in the last 30 days, it's gotten better. If you have applied any of this, it's gotten better. And for most of you that I have heard, it's not only gotten better, it's gotten, as it was quoted in that, it's a beautiful thing because it's physical magic. That's how incredible that you are. So another business goal is maybe to expand your imagination. Have you thought, for example, that you love a niche of selling luxury homes? Have you thought about selling $1 million homes? I have a friend, Tim, who I coach with, who is just this guy. When I first met him, that he was cutting grass, and and a realtor, and basically had no real estate business at all when I met him. And I told him he'd never cut another blade of grass. And he just closed on a deal. He just closed one for $350,000 and then just got one for $600,000, a listing for $600,000. I'm telling you, this guy didn't know anybody with any money. He wasn't in luxury homes, etc. It was all a matter of changing his mindset. So in the last month, he's had, just with that, almost $1 million, and he has other deals and everything that he did. But those two deals, and I mean, he was barely selling any homes, and when he was, it was $100,000. How does that happen? Well, that happens by expanding your imagination. And maybe you just want to be general. And remember, the more general you are, the easier it is to accept the ideas. Like if you get real specific and say, hey, I'm going to make $1 million this year, probably you're not going to do that. But if you get more general and say, hey, I know that more and more money is coming into my experience now. If you say that, you can allow that. Don't you believe that? Yeah, I love that idea. In fact, you may all want to write that down, that I now allow more and more money into my experience. And why? You're expanding your imagination. You're expanding your thoughts about what you want. I have an agent that I coach with virtually that is now up to, has $22 million that they have. And last year they were selling the home like one home every other month, and they're on top of the world. And you can be on top of the world too. And again, don't say, oh, I got to have 20 million right now. Just say, hey, I'm going to get more and more. I'm going to sell higher end homes. I'm going to have more closings. I'm going to attract listings. I'm going to attract ideal referral partners. You know, it's all coming to me. I just love that I have faith in God and that I believe that it's all coming to me, and then it will all come to me. And so that's expanding my imagination. And why don't you write down one thing on what you're going to expand with your imagination? Are you going to expand about the number of closes you have, by the amount of income you're going to have? Because again, if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. So expand your imagination. And as you do that, you can't say, well, that's going to be really hard, because then you're going to make more money and it's going to be really hard and you're not going to enjoy your money. You can have your cake and eat it too. I want you to think about how I'm going to expand my income. I'm going to expand my business, and it's going to be easy, and there's plenty of time. I have plenty of time, and I have plenty of money. These are amazing statements, my friend, that I'm telling you, I'm channeling right now. Source is just bringing these. This is music to your ears. This is what you were here, why you're sitting here right now listening to this, because these are the thoughts that you want, that you've been asking for in order to get you to that next level, to get you to a happier place. Remember, out of all of this, the prize is joy, for you to be happy. And so that's the only reason why you want all these things. And you expand all that is. So you play such an important role with the whole universe on what you're doing. And why don't you enjoy yourself doing it? And you can. It can be easy, and you can have more. You can have fun. You can have more time, more money, more of everything you want. And then finally, be deliberate in your thinking and feeling. That if you just pay attention to the way that you feel, that will be the indication, because your source is communicating to you that way, that'll be the indication on whether or not you're thinking thoughts that align up with your source. And so I'm going to be deliberate in my thinking about what I want. I'm going to be deliberate in my feeling about feeling good. And I'm going to allow thoughts and feelings to come to me from my source. And how does that happen? That's back to those lights, that when you light the light way up there on that wall on the things that you want, that God's going to respond and going to give you those thoughts, going to give you those impulses, those feelings where you're feeling good, that all of that is working towards your good, is playing on your behalf, is doing everything on your behalf. So amazing, huh? Now what you do is, and this is again, prioritizing, planning your month. So, just as a review, we looked at our mission and purpose and the overall, what do I want to be, do, and have. Then we started looking at our personal life and the 6 different areas of our personal life. Then we looked at our business life and what are all the things that we want in our business. And then we said, okay, let's prioritize what are my top personal and business goals. And so what I'd ask you to do right now is to review the things that you have written. And for July, this is kind of like we're doing our first test here on being deliberate creators for a whole month now, okay? And for July, then what are the main things that you want to be, do, and have in your personal life and in your business life? So I'll give you a moment to think about that and then write that down on what are the top personal things that I want? What are the top business goals that I want? Doesn't it feel good? You start writing down on, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want to be, do, and have. This is the better relationships that I want, the better health that I want. Like a great statement is that I want to live a long, healthy, and prosperous life. Like if you just ask that every day and have that on your mind and not any of these other conflicting and disturbing thoughts, you'll have it. It's only possible to have what you're thinking about. And so just be thinking about, yeah, I love that idea. And then business goals, what do you want to do? Maybe I love the idea of attracting a listing just out of the blue. Okay? I love the idea of having more money and more time. You can just ask for more money and more time. God will fill in. It's kind of like what we're doing here is, and since most of us are real estate agents here, that it's kind of like building a house, that your job, if you will, your focus is to kind of just draw it on, okay, this is how big it is, and it has a roof, and it has this structure here. And then just allow God to fill in all the rooms and all the detail and the carpet and the appliances and everything, because God knows what you want. And so you have asked for it. And so it's just a matter of you getting that overall architect of, hey, this is my life. This is the home that I'm building for me. And it's on sturdy ground. It's not on sand. It's on this sturdy ground. I have a foundation. I have a sturdy foundation now. I stand grounded. And as you do this monthly planning, it normally takes about 2 or 3 months of monthly planning. So, so you did July, then August and September. By the end of September, when you're planning like October, you're going to just be amazed at how you just call it the way you want it, and it becomes it. And you're going to feel so grounded and so together and so on top of it and so in control. No more out of control and frustrated and stressed out and everything. All that goes away as you start now outlining and putting the frame of your home in there. And that's what this top personal and business goals does in this whole process. It puts it all in on, here's the things that I want. And now I ask my source, I ask the universe from the non-physical to bring it into the physical, and that it will. Just like that. Okay? So we then go through high payoff activities. And so in Success Unit 1, we talked about high payoff activities. And again, you have a sheet on that. And if you don't have it printed out, you can just write down high payoff activities. So my first high payoff activity is to prepave my life. And so how do I do that? So like on the first line, I would put prepave my life, and Joy Shop, monthly planning, and deliberate episode intention. Remember when we were talking about on how during the day, you just say how you want it for the next episode of your day. And so when you start doing that, like you just need those 3 things: monthly planning, Joy Shop, and deliberate episode creation. And you're home free. Yeah, you got it. You got it. You are the deliberate creator there, because there's everything. All that is supporting you, and that by you doing those 3 things, that you do that, and then you'll be on top of the world. So high payoff activities, that would be one. And then on some more practical things, attracting and then meeting with my referral partners every month, or every 2 weeks, typically every 2 weeks, to attract first and then meet with my referral partners, and then to meet with and follow up with my clients is probably the third one. And then to close deals. Okay, that's a nice one. I like closing deals. That I was talking with someone yesterday again. That's I just love it that, I used to do 1 or 2 deals per month, and I'm doing 4 or 5 deals per month. And so can you. and they're living the life of their dream. They're traveling all over the place. That it's just great, and it's by this type of focus. And closes are good. We love money. Money is fun and exciting. We don't doubt or fear or worry about money anymore. Right? Money is fun and exciting, and I create money. I'm the attractor and creator of money. And I'm sharing with you that most of you have a negative attitude towards money, and that it's not your friend, that it's been missing, a bunch of stuff. You're fearful of it. You're worried about it. It's there. Just stop all that. That you don't need to do that. That if you continue to do that, it'll continue to be missing. That you want more, that the universe is there, ready to give you more. And so it's a matter of lightening up and raising your point of attraction up on that wall and hitting the light of more money. And that I'm the attractor and creator of money, and then you will. And then probably the last high payoff activity is something like getting referrals. So from those clients in those neighborhoods, I love the idea. For some of you, I'm feeling that luxury homes is a good hot button for you. And so think about, I like attracting luxury homes. The only person that puts any fences up, any chains around, and any jail around you is your own self. That it doesn't matter whether you've done it before, if you know anybody or whatever. It only matters what you're thinking about. If you like luxury homes, I'm sharing with you, you just hit that light of luxury homes way up there of what you want, and the universe will bring you ideas, people, circumstances, and events in order to deliver it to you. And then finally, in the next, we have the imperative project list, important project lists. And here, do you have any projects, that you want to develop? And so that can be in your personal life, professional life, on what are they? Imperative project lists, you want to stay away from those. Like, I never have anything imperative. I don't have to do anything, okay? Because what I do is I think about what I want, I get inspired actions, and then they become important project lists that I do. So I'm publishing a second book right now. I'm making a new product called The Joy Shop, by the way, with a manual and instructions and a meditation, a bunch of stuff. And so I'm just flowing away with that, just doing that, just doing one thing after the next, but it's all just important. It's not imperative that I get it done. It's all coming. Everything more and more and more is coming. And then there's the 1 to 31 tracking sheet. And so that has been, we've, been on that before. You have a copy of that. That's where you start to list on the day, each day in your daily planning, to what thoughts do you want to track, and then what behaviors. So under personal goals, it could be under business goals too, but number one is Joy Shop every day. And if for any reason that, you are getting, like we all get bored and we keep on doing something the same way, we get a little bored. If you're a little bored, let me know. I have a new Joy Shop for you. And so to spice it up. And when I say spice it up, I mean it. Like the last one I had, and really everybody just loves this part, that it's about all these wonderful things, and then it also includes that I have great and lots of sex. And so I can't tell you how many responses I got back from that. And, wow, this Joy Shop. So it spices it up a little. And so if you ask for that, that's what you're going to get. And sex is a good thing. We're brought up all kinds of nonsense about that. And sex is just great. And you should love it and enjoy it and have it often and have it great. And so then, and under business goals, you could actually track your 1 to 31 on your high payoff activities on, how many times I want to talk to a referral partner at least twice a week. And so maybe you put that on there. And now closings probably wouldn't be on there because, you're going to maybe have one per week. This is more a daily or every other day or several times per week. But if you have an open up mind, that if you start expecting lots of closings, start tracking it. And I know some of you on the phone that you're doing that many closings where you can actually track, hey, I want to do, one closing every other day or whatever, or 5 a week. And 5 a week, that's a nice number. That's about 20 a month, and that's a nice number for some of you. And so maybe you want to track that. And personal goals, maybe it's to invest at least 10 quality minutes with each family member every day. Like that just sounds fun, doesn't it? And maybe you want to track to be kind. And so, I want to be kind. I track, I ask myself, so one of the things, what do I want most now? So I asked myself, what do I want most now? If you're not asking yourself, and if you're not identifying what you want most now, you're not going to get what you wanted most now in that next episode. I allow sources' emotions to guide me. I have this one. I love this one. My ship has come in. I love that. My ship has come in. And I feel as fresh as a daisy. And I got that quote from, I was test driving a Bentley, and two-door little sports car Bentley, and about $250,000. And he said to me as we were just taking off on the toll road and just going from 0 to 60 in whatever, a couple seconds. And he goes, and he's British, and he goes, I feel fresh as a daisy. And I went, yeah, that's what I feel like. And so that just kind of reminds me of that whole rush and that excitement and that fun. And I asked for positive momentum, okay? And so positive momentum, all I got to do is start thinking about what I want. And I reside in the magnitude of my awakening. And so these are the things that I track, okay? And I have a real successful business, make lots of money and all that good stuff. But these are the things that are important to me. And because they help me to stay focused, to feel good, then everything comes to me. And more, my cup overfloweth. And that's what is happening to you, is that starting now, that your cup overfloweth, which means that as you're asking for these things, you're not only going to get them, but the universe is going to surprise and delight you and give you more than what you asked for. And so there's a lot of other things I track. I have under business goals, like I allow myself to reach beyond. And I want and expect softly. So just be soft on yourself. Be easy on yourself. Just say, hey, I want lots of money and I want it easy. And if you just allow that, you have lots of money, you'll have it easy. I want lots of love. I'm just in love with everything. I'm in love with myself, with my wife, with life, with my business, with my clients. I'm in love with everything. And that just raises my vibration. The universe gives me all the things that I have asked for. So anyways, that gives you a good feel for some of the things that you want to start tracking on a daily basis of what you're thinking, and then also inspired action steps. So your success steps are, I'm going to be sending you Success Unit 4, Prioritizing Your Life, and I'd like you to listen to that at least 6 times. Also, complete your monthly planning. So we just went through it. I'd ask you to review it. And again, this is for, don't be doing this for my behalf. Do it on your behalf and on your inner being, on your source's behalf, in order to make everybody happy, okay? And that the angels are singing, the heavens are parting by you doing this, being intentional and doing this monthly planning. Meet with at least one new ideal referral partner this week. And so you can do that. And then also, I love the idea of you attracting one listing and in the next 24 hours. And so if you allow that God can deliver that to you easily on a silver platter. And then listen to this recording. Now, we have had some amazing thoughts here that has helped you to jump to a new understanding, a new focus for yourself in order to have your dreams come true. I'm sharing with you that your dreams are coming true now. You just start knowing that everything is coming to you more and more. Those 3 amazing principles of life. to know that you are a magnificent, deliberate creator, to know that only well-being flows to you and you can allow it or disallow it, but you can never cut it off completely, no matter how disallowing. And that's why your finger heals. That's why good things still will happen, even amidst all of the things that you have resisted, that now start allowing the goodness to come to you. And then number 3, cooperative components. And think about that light board. Think about that wall, and think about where your light is right now with your thought. Is it below the 50% line, or is it above it? Is it in that allowing one? And do your joy shop every morning. That'll just keep you on track, and it'll start that positive momentum every day, so you can get up on that light board and higher, and that's going to increase your point of attraction to everything you want, and all that is there waiting to help you. And then contact me with any help that you may want. And so I have just absolutely loved this session. I could feel your vibration, that you guys are getting it. It's been amazing. That is all we have for now. And so, ladies and gentlemen, love you guys. Thanks so much. Next week is our last session that you are going to love, going to blow you away on understanding on how all these feelings work into everything that you have wanted. So with that, I bid you goodbye. Love you guys. Bye-bye.